So we did a social media competition where we got lots of people to send in the questions they wanted to ask you. And we've got a winner from one called Natasha on Instagram. How do you manage to teach your children the same resilience that you have shown through your life when they have many privileges that you didn't have growing up? And I was actually really interested in this one for my own children as well.
Yeah. That's a very good question. There are many different approaches that we try to use, normalizing their experience, setting the same set of expectations for our children that our parents had for us, contributing around the house, not taking your advantages for granted. It's the conversations about advantage as well, pushing them to face their own fears. And that's the hardest part as a parent, because that means you have to let your kids go and do things that are a little frightening for you, like sending them off to away on a trip. I mean, Malia, for her gap year, spent 3 months in the Amazon camping. I didn't want her to do that, but I thought, what an important lesson in resilience for her, just physically, to know that she could endure something that hard and be away from home in a different country, learning a different language. So I had to have the courage to let her do that, even though I desperately wanted her to just be close to home. So some of what we have to do as parents is let go of our fears and let them fail a little bit. And be there for them when they fall. Because if we're always saving them, if we're always helicoptering around, they never fall and they never learn how to get back up. And that's a hard thing to watch your kids do, is fail.
It's like my dad always said to me, was the importance of failure. I was a bit like you at school. I found it quite, I worked hard because I knew how to pass the exams, so I never really experienced that failure bit, and passed my driving test. When I rang him up to say, Dad, I passed my driving test, he was like, oh. Yeah. It's like, why are you saying, oh? He was like, I really wanted you to fail because it's so important to fail at something.
And it's also who they're surrounded with, because maybe the failure isn't theirs, but if they're put in circumstances where they see hardship and they whether it's in their communities or through volunteerism, exposing them to all the different challenges that other people face, even if it isn't their challenge. So service was a huge part of it, having them in schools where some kind of mandatory community service was a part of the curriculum has always been important to me. So there are many ways to do it. It just depends on your circumstances, but kids will model what they see at home and the values that are promoted at home. So whether they have a lot or a little, they still know what their parents believe and what they expect, just as you have known, which is why you focus on businesses with purpose. That had nothing to do with the fact that you grew up in hardship, but you grew up with parents who expected you to give back, and that stuck with you. And I only hope that Malia and Sasha will be as giving and as generous as you are.
Thank you very much. The